What's up, everybody? Clint Esposito here with number 25 of the Clint Files. Today we're talking about microdosing Psybicilin mushrooms, traumatic brain injuries. This podcast brought to you by Cryo Fit Sport. They're compression braces that actually have little pockets for little like ice packs. So my wrist sucks trying to hold it like right here on my wrist. So killer. It's cryofitsports.com. You can actually get 10% off there using the code Esposito10. Also, it's brought to you by Hero Soap Company, herosoapcompany.com. It is owned by an Air Force veteran. It is locally sourced and made in the United States, chemical, paraben free, so you can rub it on your testicles, labia, whatever you got going on. Totally fine. And a percentage of the proceeds go to veteran and first responder charities, and your first order is matched and sent to deployed military members. And you can get 20% off by using the code FreeThinkers with an S. That's it, people. Let's get into it. Spoiler alert, I have been microdosing Psybicilin for a little bit now. So I think this is what we're going to talk about, my experience with that. First, we're going to go to this website here, Reality Sandwich, and they got a little scale here to let you know what's up. So, experiences by dosage. Level 1, microdose, 0.05 to 0.25. Mood enhancement, crisp concentration, increased mental stamina. We all need that, right? Level 2, mini dose, 0.25 to 0.75. Feeling stoned, mild euphoria, visual enhancements, short-term memory anomalies, altered sound perception. Level 3, medium dose, 0.5 to 0.15. Those two, like, obviously over, like, you're like, I guess they don't really know. You could be in between there. Depends on your weight, I'm sure. Colors become more vivid. Closed and open eye visuals, distracted thought pattern, enhanced creativity. 2 to 3.5. Warped and kaleidoscopic visuals. Oh, we're getting fun. Mild hallucinations, 3D closed eye visuals, minor I don't know what that is. Sounds fun, maybe. Distorted sense of time. Megadose. Heavy hallucinations, ego delusion, which we need, all of us pretty much. Mild disconnect from reality, complete loss of time. That thing again, I don't know what it is or can't say. Out of body experiences. Now 5, it's funny how they all the things increased and now they went back down. They're just like complete altering of senses. Ego death. Complete disconnect from reality, which I think a lot of those are good things. Okay, so I try and stay in the micro to mini area, and I'll do this before work, computer work, mechanic work, whatever. Yes, it does elevate my mood so that I feel happy about being at work all day. Yes, helps you concentrate. You can, so you can concentrate, but then you can like kind of veer off. It's not like Adderall, I don't feel like, where you get like stuck on something and then you sit there forever and you're like, "Rah." You're like, I just cleaned my room for 3 hours. I don't think it's like that. You can trail off, but it is easy to bring it back and be like, this is what I need to do at the lower levels, obviously. You may still, anybody that's eaten a regular, level 4 to 5, which is usually where everybody starts. I feel like everybody starts in 4 to 5. They're like, I want to fucking trip balls. It's because you don't respect the plant. All right. Um, what these don't mention, and now uh, I guess it just doesn't say it in here, and I haven't gone through this whole article, honestly. I just found that chart. But what they don't mention is, and I have seen it in other things, the feeling of, like, the feeling of compassion or community or something like that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Um, and even, I would say it's more so in the way that I perceive my interactions with people and conversations. And I'm not so, like, stuck on my side of the fence and, like, mad at them about whatever. I'm more likely to listen to what they have and take it in and, perceive it a different way. Which for me, I feel like, and I kind of went into this backwards. I have had a bunch of concussions and stuff like that. And I honestly think a lot of that has led to me having weird or perceiving conversations with people weird, and then saying things, and then realizing later how it came off, that, like, it came off whatever I said as negative, and I was like, man, that could really be perceived in a different way than I had originally intended it. So I think that's one of the huge things for me, because, like I said, I've had concussions and stuff starting when I was really little. I also even think that, so I got concussions, like I said, as a really little kid, and I was always super frustrated with bookwork, um, just schoolwork in general. And I owned my own businesses for a long time, and then finally I had this really bad. I did freestyle motocross. I'm sure everybody knows that watches this. Um, so I had a really bad concussion where I forgot like a week. I was unconscious for 4 minutes. I don't remember pretty much. I remember like 2 instances in the next 24 hours, and that whole week is just kind of erased. And when I came out of that scenario there, paperwork gave me such anxiety that I could barely get myself to do any. Also couldn't focus and accomplish anything. This is years ago. This is like 2014 probably. So for months I walked around the house trying to accomplish stuff during the day, and I'd literally get like nothing done. But I realized that the anxiety I was having about paperwork was awfully reminiscent of the same way that I felt about school, which makes me think that maybe, and this is regular paperwork that I had been doing. At this point, I'm 34. I'd had the freestyle motocross team since I was 21. So I've been doing this for a long time. And now all of a sudden, all this paperwork is just like, my dread of doing paperwork is exacerbated to the point where I can't get any of it done. Even sitting down to look at everything is kind of like jumbled. Just trying to take everything in and process it was a real hard, difficult time. And it slowly got like better, but I still, like I said, I still feel like I interacted with people not so well, and would say stuff and then later be like, oh man, that came off totally shitty, or text something and then be like, or message, and then be like, oh, that was terrible wording of that. I definitely could have worded that better. So I think that's a lot of what I'm getting from the microdosing, is getting rid of that. I'm able to sit down and focus and concentrate on that stuff. I also just me as a person is a little bit softer. So in listening to people, I take in what they're saying differently, and I try to word things. I'm more conscious of wording things so that it's not like so offensive or so abrasive, I should say. Um, the other, and those are really my main reasons for taking it. I mean, the other thing too is, does it say anything in here? Well, enhance creativity, but I mean, I think that just your perception changes. So, say you've had this problem, you've been working on whatever this business idea or whatever it is for a long time. You take the mushrooms, and now all of a sudden you look at it from like a little bit of a different angle and you perceive it different. So, it's easy to problem solve and come up with or see things that you never would have seen before. And I think that that's the whole ego delusion, ego death deal. That's exactly what that is as well. It's getting into it and then going, oh, I'm not shit. That's what ego death is. Ego death is when you eat enough and then you realize that you're like just some little speck, and ultimately the world, you can die and the world's going to continue to do exactly what it was doing before, and that maybe you're not as important as you had originally thought. But I think that just that change of, it's that same change of perspective, that's just on a much smaller level that happens over here still. So that's kind of the reason I like it. The other thing is, and I know some people, if you don't know this, you're going to think this is crazy. I like to eat them before I go and ride or snowboard or anything like that, because it says visual enhancements. I don't, that's your actual sight. That's not like seeing things. That's like your sight becomes sharper. You can, while I'm riding, I can like zoom, focus in on a rut, super sharp, crystal clear focus, see the knobby marks from the guy before me. And then you just get into that rut, and then you're automatically looking. It's basically like getting into the flow state, but I feel like that's when you're riding good, you're in a flow state. You're just moving from focal point to focal point in the groove, in the flow. Um, Mushrooms, I feel like the microdosing makes it way easier to attain. You do a little bit of that, and all of a sudden you're not thinking anymore, and you got this, like it says, the mood enhancement. You have a little bit of euphoria. You're like, you can focus in. Like I said, you can focus, but then your focus can move. So you're like, boom, that's my spot. That's the rut I'm taking. Boom, that's the exit of the turn, or whatever it is you're doing. I took him the one time snowboarding. And then the next time, then yesterday, I didn't, and I think I was a worse snowboarder yesterday. This is for real. I really feel this way. Um, yeah, I mean, so those are my. I was just looking at my notes, but I pretty much hit everything. I would say, and I've had other people microdose and not get the same type of results that I have, and I truly, truly believe, and I don't have any type of, I know that they're probably using it a little bit, but I truly believe that I'm having so much benefit and so much progress simply because of the fact that I did have a lot of concussions. So I feel like I was miswired at some level. The other thing I'll bring up in mushrooms, not necessarily all mushrooms, but certain mushrooms like lion's mane and Psybicilin, the theory is that those types of mushrooms help you uh, form new neural pathways. Meaning that, like, say, you want to learn to do something. So I do this. If I want to be better at something like riding, I'll eat the mushrooms before I do that, because if in fact it helps carve neural pathways, then me taking it and working on things that I want to become better at will, while I'm on it, will help cut those neural pathways of like muscle memory and just reaction time and just your brain processing stuff, as you fly up on things, your brain has to process stuff. So the faster your brain can do that, obviously the more optimal you're going to operate at. That's with anything. So if you have some kind of substance which is shown to help carve neural pathways, then my theory is you take it and then you do something you want to become better at, or you're practicing, you're going to help make those things more natural, faster. Um, and I have seen some, like I said, I think I ride better and stuff. I haven't done lap times or anything back to back, but from the way that I feel much better and focused, and I'm also happier. And my sight's better, which I really think the sight for, I was plowing, I was in side by side, or not side by side, skid steer, and I had to go over, dump the dirt, or the snow, and I was coming back, and I had to clear over this fence. And I remember at one point I was like turning, brought the bucket down, I could see it just barely clear the fence, and it was probably only 4 inches, and I was like, whoa, that was kind of close. But at the time when I was doing it, I was like locked in, super focused. So I mean, I think that's the real, like I said, for me. And probably I'm having different results because I've had traumatic brain injuries. But I will say that it will enhance your, sense of community, and change your perception of interactions with people, and you will be less harsh of a person no matter what. I think that's also some of the reason that this stuff is being used for depression and also addiction, because it does make you view stuff from kind of a different area, um, like a different perspective. So, uh, I mean, I just think that's how all that works. You see it from a different perspective. You realize, oh, maybe I'm not a bag of shit. Or you're like, I'm not a bag of shit. I just do this, which is a really bad thing, and maybe I should address that. So I think that's even the reason that this shit's illegal, right? Because what if everybody just became good people and was awake and was like, could take in the stories everybody's talking about and then look at it and go, well, that seems like maybe that could be something else. All right, we're getting off track. Um, Listen, I'm not condoning doing mushrooms at all. I'm winking. If you guys are on audio only, I'm winking. Um, no, I do. I think that it should not be under lock and key. They, they need to put more, you know, time into studying this stuff so that we can see if this stuff actually helps. Right now, my experience would be labeled anecdotal, but I can tell you that um, I've had people that I'm close to say that they've seen a difference as far as one, dealing with them um, in like relationship type stuff and talking about the issues that we're having and being able to verbalize all my feelings and stuff like that. I've definitely seen a marked improvement. Um, I would say just motivation and focus and understanding like my path that I want to take. I've been a lot more focused in putting that together, um, and just more like driven to get all these ideas I have in my head like out and really make them happen and make them the best that they can be. So again, and this is a slippery slope, right? Because it's totally illegal. I don't know if it's totally. Unless you're in Oregon, then get after it, guys. But if you're not, I didn't tell you to do this then. If you're not in Oregon. If you're in Oregon, I told you to do this. If you're not in Oregon, I didn't tell you to do this. But if you want to figure out how to microdose, I would, or here, let's just look this up for you. Stamets stack. Here we go. Comes right up. All right. This is the protocol I have been following as well as epigenetic neurogenesis stack. See? That sounds good, a neurogenesis. It's what we need. Let's see what they say about it. For nootropics, it isn't uncommon for psychedelic science to blur the lines as a cognitive enhancer. Michael Pollan's new book, How to Change Your Mind, focuses heavily on using psychedelics, Psybicilin, LSD, ayahuasca, I haven't tried that, to improve mental performance. One of the people he includes regularly is Paul Stamets. During the MAPS Psychedelic Science 2017 conference, we don't care about. So this dude's hat right here is a mushroom. That's a big mushroom. That guy loves. There you go. During the talk, Stamets clearly identifies not only the ingredients for his epigenetic neurogenesis protocol, but also the particular doses. Although the protocol seems a catch-all between increasing creativity, cognition, PTSD, and regeneration of vision and auditory neurons, in truth, the objective of the stack is primarily to increase neurogenesis in the brain over time as to preserve memories. Well, I should have done this earlier because I already smashed the memories out, and now I'm just trying to function. No. This is clearly a hypothesis from Stamets, and if you read until the end, you realize that he has a way to subjectively test the hypothesis for yourself. So we can test it. The neurogenesis protocol is specific for a 70-gram, 154-pound person. Leaning towards the higher doses for heavier people is probably best, but not until trying a small dose first. So this says 1 to 10 milligrams of Psybicilin. 500 to 200? Who the fuck wrote this? 500 to 200 milligrams of lion's mane mushroom extract. And then 100 to 200 milligrams of niacin. FYI, niacin will make you feel, you'll get flushing and your skin will turn all red. The niacin, they say, is that the flush is why it's good to use, and it pushes the Psybicilin through all of your extremities and everything. All right, we'll just read this last little thing. We're not going into the risks because these people have to make you freak out. Microdosing mushroom, Psybicilin, and lion's mane. For those with some understanding of both Psybicilin mushrooms and lion's mane, both of these doses seem to be relatively low. The current studies of lion's mane mushroom using 96% purity extract, of course, focus on 1,000 milligrams per day 3 times. Jesus. While the studies often use a higher dose than healthy adults, the Stamets protocol is 10 times the standard for Psybicilin 2. The dose is essentially a microdose. The 0.1 gram dose will, more than likely, not be felt by anyone. Doses of 1 gram might create some sensations early on in the cycling protocol, but will dull over time. Duh, that's any drug, right? Although Stamets discusses the creativity benefits of Psybicillins at this dose, it will not last long, and that is okay. If you are searching for increased neurogenesis, then using Psybicillin has a different purpose in this stack. Tolerance builds quickly for the other mind-altering aspects, but the aim is neurogenesis here. So there you go. I actually do think that it works. Let's read subjective testing and then we'll get out of here. As with any of the, and if you guys hate me reading, I'm sorry. This is remedial class at a public school. This is what you get. Sorry. As with any of these protocols and stacks, part of the process is understanding and verifying the validity of the person who created it. With the expertise of Paul Stamets, this stack comes across as way more easily trusted and worthy of this write-up. That being said, we do not have, I don't know why there's a fMRI or other brain imaging data to suggest this combination provides any clear benefit for improving neurogenesis, and certainly not his claims of being the next quantum leap in the evolution of the human species. How the fuck do these people know? Right? They're just like, nah, this is not what it is. Because I think, I'll get sidetracked. This will happen. You'll have this on these big jobs. I think that they don't want to admit that because it doesn't just, you don't take it once and it works, which is the American way, right? You need to take it once and then be healed or better, and then we'll claim it. But other than that, we're not going to claim it. Nonetheless, Stamets has a subjective way for people to better detect whether this stack might be helping with neurogenesis, testing auditory sound changes in the human ear. Over time, Stamets suggests that neurogenesis in the auditory centers of the brain may increase the ability to hear sounds. He suggests paying close attention, perhaps even maintaining a journal of some of the sounds regularly, to see whether hearing increases, which could be an indicator of success through the stack. Because the stack is so new and few people have provided testimonies, it is hard to find evidence of whether or not this works. Here you go, I just did. A lot of people have to base their predictions for success on the reputation of Paul Stamets. In an anecdotal account, a jiu-jitsu practitioner clearly identified subjective benefits through his physical performance, flexibility measured by particular movements, but obviously the jury is out on whether or not this works. This is what they do with everything natural. For anyone with access to Psybicilin who does not feel the need to use it primarily for creative or large-scale mind-altering experiences, it might be beneficial to include the neurogenesis stack from Paul Stamets. I say do it, people, because, like I said, I notice benefits and makes you feel better, and you don't get depressed. They are treating people with depression with this, and like I say, I think it's because you look at your point of view and you go, oh, I didn't think of it that way. All right, people, I'm out of here. Quick little half an hour deal. Please, anybody, comment on any of my stuff. Let me know if you've ever done it. Maybe call bullshit. Tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. That's fine. But maybe one day I'll do when the weather gets nice, or maybe for snowboarding, I'll do a little video, eat some mushroom capsules, and then go and snowboard. All right, people, I'm going to set you up with the outro song. It's an intro song, too. It's just a song, I guess. It's just a song.